Yeah, I think it is actually. Because you did the Women of Weed one with Kathy and Ashley. Oh yeah, you're right. No Kathy. Yeah, we need to get our. We need to get that part of the new intern job production for this.
Wait.
All right, welcome everybody to the Heady Vermont live stream. It is Monday, June 4th, and we are both here in the house. You guys can see we've got Monica Donovan, co-founder, CEO of Heady Vermont. I am your host, Eli Harrington. As always, behind the decks, we got Sean Simonetti, always ready, and we got a live studio audience tonight. Give it up for the live studio audience out there, guys. Woo! Woo! All right, you guys can take my word for it. Dozens and dozens of people back there. Shout out to Kevin. And we got another special guest, Keith Morris, who's going to be joining us tonight. We are talking about what is Heady Vermont membership? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to you? What are we going to do with it? And then we're going to talk about July 1st. A lot of questions. We're going to try to answer as many of them on the live stream as we can, and then the rest will roll out in the next few days. And then by the end of this week, you'll be ready to go, and it'll just be how many tickets are you going to get and how many friends are you going to bring. So before we get into that, as always, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor this week. It is the Perma-Canna-Culture Camp. It's happening at Willow Crossing Farm. We're going to be posting on this in the comments section. I encourage you to check it out. Week-long, all-inclusive, all immersive. You're going to learn from literally High Times award-winning cannabis cultivators how to do it the organic, the headiest way that you can, hands in the soil. So we want to give a shout-out. Keith's going to talk a little bit about that later on, but want to make sure you guys check out the Perma-Canna-Culture Camp. Whether you're just getting started or whether you've done a few plants in a closet, you're going to have something for everybody here. So we'll talk about that later, but a little quick news update for everybody since it's been a while since we've done one of these live streams. Thank you to everybody who came out to the Vermont Cannabis and Hemp Convention. That was a smashing success. Big thank you to our partners in Massachusetts, Mark, Jeff, yeah, absolutely, Kathy. Our partners here in Vermont, Tim from Vermont Cannabis Solutions, Nick from Greener Mountain Consulting, and then our entire staff, Kathy, Kevin, and ton of volunteers.
And all the volunteers who made it amazing.
Yeah, those guys were awesome. So we're already talking about bigger, better, more baller, the big baller
2019
experience, 2019. So
TCAN 2019.
We'll have a date for you guys in the near future. Plan on that. So thank you again to everybody who came out. As far as more current events right now, the hemp registry. I think that is a lot of what's happening. There's about 2,000 acres in production this season in Vermont with over 250 registered permits. We wrote about this on Heady Vermont. They just did a video on Channel 3 was there. I think WVNY, the ABC affiliate, was there as well. The Vermont Agency of Agriculture, go like them on Facebook. They've got the best pictures and video. So we actually get to go out and do a hemp planting. We're writing about this on Heady Vermont. A ton of exciting news coming out. Thank you to Kathy for covering it, doing a great job. So hemp, huge. There'll be a lot more of that. Mainstream media paying more attention to cannabis. We are going to see we'll be more involved in talking to the mainstream media. We've been doing interviews, and we are going to be doing even more. And now people are asking us to advertise with them. Yep. So it's
and they're also asking questions about how to get in touch with people in the cannabis industry.
That's right.
We're going to talk to these people. So we're trying to hook you up, our members and partners.
And the answer that we most like to give them is to look on HeadyVermont.com. So if you have an event, you can list it on Heady Vermont. If you are somebody who's a business, who has got a product, who's got a service that we don't know about yet, get in touch with us. We'll talk about business membership and business partnership. But we want to help promote you. If you're out there, mainstream media are asking us who's doing what. We want to be able to give them the best answers and share with you guys. So expect a lot more mainstream media coverage. I know we're going to have some TV series coming out. Related to that, trade groups. this is starting to become, I didn't bring the letter up, but there are at least 2 trade associations who are poking around. The Vermont Cannabis Trade Association, we're going to be doing a little bit, we want to learn a lot more about what their sort of goals are. They've been mailing everybody information, and as we become a legal, taxed and regulated industry, I think trade groups are probably inevitable. So what the Vermont Cannabis Trade Association is, we have questions ourselves. We're going to do some more investigation, and maybe we'll bring them on here in a future live stream, and we can talk about that specifically. There are also people talking about hemp and CBD specific trade associations. So that's also something which I think is going to continue to evolve. But that's really what's going on right now. It's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, people trying to get ready for tax and regulate, people starting CBD hemp businesses, cooperatives, groups.
In the more immediate context, what does a trade association mean as we're changing the regulations for hemp? And how can people fight to have a similar platform in which they can succeed?
Well, and is it time for a trade association right now before there are regulations? Right? I mean, usually you have regulations and then trade associations form so that they can say, hey, we need more of this or less of this. Right now, I think we're lucky in that everybody who's involved has kind of a direct line to their representative and to the Agency of Agriculture as well. And they've been doing a great job getting stakeholders together. And we even had, at this hemp planting event that we were at, I want to give a shout out, we had Bernie Sanders' office there as well. So not only our state politicians, but our national politicians paying attention. So shout out to the Burn Dog, Senator Bernie Sanders, for sending one of his staffers to come talk about this in person. So yeah. Give it a round of applause to the city audience.
Thanks, Bernie.
Otherwise, the only other thing, VT Poly, right now candidates are registering. We are getting a better idea of what the electoral map is going to be.
Sorry.
Luna. And so we will, we'll have a lot more reporting coming up in the near future about who's running in what races, what candidates are the most pro-cannabis reform. If you live in a small town and maybe your legislator voted no and you think they should vote yes, maybe there's an opponent who is pro-cannabis. I'll give a shout out. I was hanging out with the young Mr. Dustin Tanner, who is running for Senate in Franklin County, under 25 and running for state Senate. So that's very cool. Shout out to all the candidates out there. We're talking with campaigns. Expect a lot more political coverage in the near future.
It's coming right up.
It's coming right up. I think that's really it for
updates?
For the big news updates. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's get more into our featured guest interview. Before we talk about membership, partnership, we want to remind you guys that Vermont Hempfest is coming up fast. We will have tickets for sale on July 1st. We'll have a lot more information coming out about this. But if you missed out last year, we've got a little recap video for you. So here's what we did last year at the first Vermont Hempfest in 2017.
Hempfest 2017 was a groundbreaking event. We brought hemp farmers, CBD producers, and people with an interest in the plant together to learn, share, and grow the community. Feel the tangible excitement from the crowd. You could see the diversity in the people. We had everything from millennials to octogenarian farmers to everything in between, there to learn, share, and connect over what is arguably the most versatile plant in the world.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for staying tuned here. Like I said, we're so happy to be back at doing the live stream. As always, the point of this is that direct line to you. If you've got questions, drop them in here. We've got comments from James Mack, Lotso Hemp. I'll be seeing a lot of you folks up there in the kingdom tomorrow night up at Parker Pie. Shout out to the Hempers and the NEK. Jesse Lynn, thank you for checking in. Kelly McDowell, one of our favorite hemp scenesters. Kelly, hope that your leg is healing up. Someday they will have hemp-made rods that they can put in your legs when you break them. So, Kelly, in all seriousness, hope you feel well. Thank you guys. If you have questions, send them in here as always. But for now, I want to talk a little bit about Heady Vermont kind of as a business, what we're doing with our business partner programs, with our memberships, and kind of how this all works together. So part of the idea with partnerships and memberships is that what we're trying to do is grow more of a community, right? That we want to try to inspire, organize, and promote people in the Vermont cannabis community, people working together, people who are small, and have quality and people in Vermont and skill be the #1 factor, not who's got the most money to spend on advertising. So, as kind of our social mission, having a membership, having a partnership, it makes a ton of sense. My background, you guys might not believe it, I used to have hair and wear a suit and tie and worked at the Chamber of Commerce. So business partnerships and organizations is something that I was familiar with and I thought would eventually make sense for Heady Vermont. And so right now, we have got, I want to say about 20.
I think 20 is about right.
About 20 business partners. These are businesses that pay a small fee. It's usually less than, for the standard rate, less than $10 a month. For the preferred rate, around $20 a month. Businesses pay to be partners with Heady Vermont. They support us hiring staff, they support us promoting, and what they get is special advertising. So we have got an individual membership, which we'll talk about, but our business partners, they get first crack at the events. When we do events, we give them discounted rates. And in particular, what we ask of them is to say, hey, if you're a business that believes in what we're doing, then you want to connect with our readers. You really want to connect with our members. So part of the business partner program is that these are businesses who want to give discounts to individual members.
Yep. And that's
people that have cards.
That's the direct line between the partners and the members. They do get greater exposure to, like as a partner, you get greater exposure to all of our audience, whether they be members or not. I do believe partners get that little extra. They get shout outs on Facebook, first crack at stuff, all that kind of thing. They do get promotion on a wide scale, but directly to our members, they offer discounts, coupons, anything else that they might feel would elevate their product and bring it to like directly in front of a most committed audience.
And if you guys are on the internet now, you can check out the directory and the business partners section. Because when people ask us, hey, do you know where we can find X? Do you know where we can find Y? That's the first place that we go. And as this continues to blow up and more people want to get involved, we're going to that website more and more and sharing that link more and more. So that's kind of the way that the business partner program works. In the future, there's a lot that we want to do with it, but we want to thank the business partners who are involved. We have a full list of them on here. These are the people that really believe in what we're doing. They've got information and they are speaking directly to you. If you're watching this, you care about what's going on in the cannabis community. These are businesses that want to get in touch with you.
And a number of them are people that were initially Heady Vermont members. Like some of the first Heady Vermont members are now business partners. And they're starting these real, live businesses that are connecting to the cannabis community. And it's been really amazing to kind of watch everybody sort of come together and work together and build this up from a small spark of an idea. And it's really cool. And that's the connection, is that the most committed members have become partners.
Well, and that's what it is.
A little bit, and it's really neat, and they understand the value of what being a Heady Vermont member is.
Right. And you guys notice on the Heady Vermont website, you don't see ads because we don't sell standard ads. If you become a preferred member, we'll do a sponsor spotlight. We want to write about what your business is and give you a chance to tell your story of why you're special and different and want to be in front of the Vermont crowd and sort of the New England crowd, but this is kind of how it works. So if you're a business out there, you're paying $8 to $20 a month to advertise instead of buying, a rotating ad or something like this. Individual members. So this was really important to us because we want to say, if you're an individual for $40 per year, you actually get a card. You are a card-carrying member of Heady Vermont. maybe someday this card is something that's like in a museum. This is something that is hopefully special to you and something that actually has value, that carrying this card will actually give you something. So let's introduce, we were talking about business partnerships. We actually have a new team member. Come on over here, Kevin. Come join the party.
Awesome. How are we doing?
Good. We won't put you too much. We won't put you too much on the spot here, Kevin. So, but we will give you a chance to hold the card up. Yep. And as you do it, and this is an actual member card.
Can we first introduce, so we've introduced Kevin before, but Kevin Driscoll is the newest Heady Vermont team member. He's amazing, he's awesome, and he's one of the first few members that we had as well. And so thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining our team.
Thank you for keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Kevin grew up here in Vermont, moved away out of state to work in the legal cannabis industry, and has now repatriated back to Vermont to work in the legal cannabis industry. So we are happy to be part of returning Vermonters to work in Vermont in legal cannabis.
Happy to be a part of it too. Absolutely.
Part of Kevin's job is going to be working with individual members. So if you buy an individual membership, Kevin is going to be there to help make sure that you get your card in the mail, that you're on our members only Facebook page where we talk about all kinds of crazy. Who knows? You're going to have to go on there to check out. Who you're going to have to find out yourself. And also working with our business partners. So a lot of it, we've been trying to catch up. We've been trying to grow. We've been super busy with all these other huge events. Kevin's going to help us pick it back up. And now you're going to have somebody else's cell phone number to call as well instead of just me. So we are very excited. I'm very excited.
Me too. Absolutely.
Right now, if you're somebody like Kevin and you've got a Heady Vermont member card in your pocket, you can actually go and get special discounts at participating stores. Physical places, there are deals that you can get online, that you can get in person at these stores. So check out the membership section on headyvermont.com. You can find us. Yep. Get signed up for the newsletter. And if you have questions, you can email any and all of us about membership. We will get you signed up by, I think tomorrow you're here till 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So yes.
At 9 a.m.
So yeah, if you sign up right now, we'll have you signed up, registered by tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
And so one of the big perks of the membership right now is the Heady Vermont membership. It's going to get you into the event.
There you go.
Free. And tickets are going to be $50, whereas the membership's only $40 a year. So not only are you going to be getting into the event for free, but you're going to get all the added discounts and everything else we offer. So it's definitely a good deal. I got it. It's already paid off. So I encourage you all to do the same.
And maybe Monica, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate it. Kevin's also a patient, we should say as well. So we're very happy to also employ a registered patient and caregiver here. And shout out and to employ people and pay them a livable wage. So we're still growing. We'll hopefully do more and more, and we'll have the company helicopter at some point in the future and health plan and all that. But we're happy to have Kevin on the team, Kathy, Rob, pumped to be here and growing. So Monica, let's talk about events.
Okay.
July 1st is the obvious one. This is the first time that we're doing
It's the next one.
Free for members events.
Not next one. This is the first sort of instance where you can truly flash your membership code and really just waltz right in for free. It's kind of cool. And we're happy and we're thankful to our initial members for kind of working with us as we're growing the program. And we're excited that we can now offer you guys kind of the first time that you can waltz right in as a VIP, as a member, and enjoy this event for a really discounted rate. And in the future, we're going to offer more of that. You're going to see a little more. But yeah, this is just, and members, $20.
And when we do this with members, so this event, we also have member rates at other events, right?
Yes.
So we've talked about the last event that we had as Heady Vermont was actually the women's networking meetup, right? Mm-hmm. White River Grow Pro.
Yes.
And then we've got an entire Women of Cannabis series coming up, right?
We absolutely
So
do.
maybe you can preview that and then remind them that they can save money on that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to start with the networking series. This is a free series of events. It's not just for women. Men are welcome as well, as long as you respect women. You're totally cool.
As long as you respect.
Come right on in, you know? No misogynist, stay at the door. It's cool.
Fair.
You know, we're in Vermont, so it's a pretty cool place. For the most part, everybody's pretty awesome. So yeah, the networking series is free. We're taking it to different venues all around the state. Thank you to White River GoPro and Stephanie and Kendall and Olivia for having us. I forget the dog's name, but they're really lovely. And it was just really nice. It was really nice to be able to go to a different part of the state where we haven't really been, and to be able to include some of those people. And I know that it feels like sometimes we're always in Chittenden County, and we're working really hard to kind of take our events across the state, like in Brattleboro in a couple of weeks. And we really appreciate all of you guys' patience and kind of joining us for all of these different things. So that's the networking series, and the next one is, I believe, at Wild Clover in Woodstock, and that is in June this month, which, yes, it is now June. So that's in just a couple of weeks.
June 19th.
June 9th.
No, that's
June 9th.
Cannabis.
Yep. June, I want to say
27th.
June 27th.
Clover Gift Shop in Woodstock.
Women's. What's that?
Clover Gift Shop.
Clover Gift Shop in Woodstock is the next free Women of Cannabis networking series. And in addition to that, we're also doing this little side project, a series of all-day workshops where you can learn different aspects of the cannabis industry. Again, it's led by women, but it is not just for women. If you are a cool dude, you may come. That is great.
No
we've had
dude.
this question, and we're not being exclusive, but we do want to create a safe space and a place where women can kind of lift each other up, and where it can be led by women. Because the whole point is that it's a male-dominated industry, even though it's more progressive than maybe some other industries. And there's a lot of talk about how cannabis is like more led by women than ever, and blah blah blah. But you know, there's still a lot of work to be done, and so I think the idea is that it's mostly led by women, and that everybody is women. And so this workshop series covers all aspects of the cannabis industry. It covers how to start a business, basics of cultivation, processing, do it yourself, how to make things from the things you're going to grow this summer. So if you're like growing a couple plants this summer and you want to learn how to make a salve or a tincture, we have something in the fall. We have another workshop in the fall. So it's a series of 7, really 6 now, workshops on the, I believe, the 3rd Tuesday of every month at this wonderful place in Morrisville, Vermont. This wonderful place is a retreat space that recently opened up by my wonderful friends Turley and Dan. It's a really magical, lovely place with a big barn workshop, and the nice kitchen where you can kind of learn how to make stuff. And you know, in the barn we're gonna lead little presentations on basics of starting a business and how to do things. And really, if you're looking to start out and you're not sure how to start a business and you're not sure about the cannabis industry, you can learn a little bit. And as a member, you can save a little bit of money on the workshop. So it's $90 per workshop for members and $100 for non-members. So you save a few bucks if you want to learn about how to register a business, how to get things started, what kind of tax accounts and things you need to do to get started, what kind of loopholes you might need to look for in terms of like social media marketing.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
because
as we do a live stream on Facebook. Yes, this seems very relevant.
And just as an example, you know, something like, here's a valuable little tidbit. Like if you're advertising on Facebook, you can't show cannabis leaves, and you can't say the word cannabis in anywhere in your copy, and you can't show a cannabis leaf. So we have a ad going around for July 1st, and I switched out the pot leaves for stars in the ad that went around on Facebook, because it would never have been accepted by Facebook if it had a giant pot leaf on it. And you know, these are the little nuances that you kind of learn through trial and error. Or you know, other people have learned it by being banned from Facebook or losing their credit card processing. Stuff like that you would not learn unless you made the mistakes. That's what we're trying to help you with. And with the cannabis industry, because you have local and state and federal conflicts and just differences in regulation and confusion and gray market, it's really difficult. So we want to kind of try and help people with that.
To quote an American poet, Hove went through that, so hopefully y'all wouldn't have to go through that. You guys are going to help people skip ahead from what you've learned already.
Exactly.
And as everything else we do, there's a discount for members. I want to give a shout out to a couple people. Eric, who popped in, our friend Eric, one of our first Heady Vermont members, supporters, now business partner as well, Elevated State. Lauren, friend from a long time, original. She's involved with the Women of Cannabis networking and series as well. Lauren from AeroMed. AeroMed is a Heady Vermont business partner.
Yep.
Go into AeroMed in Montpelier, flash your card and see what happens.
Absolutely, and she will be actually involved with the July workshop, I believe, as well.
Yep.
For the July Woman of Cannabis.
So let's talk about July. We've been teasing it, and people have questions about this event. The 100,000 people viewing already? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, sales are pretty good. You know,
I want to bring. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and don't worry, you can sponsor this too. We'll put up titles, and you can put your ad over here and your product right here.
Yeah, like you go.
We could have your product right here on the table and be reviewing it. Actually, we'll be doing next week. We'll have something on this table. It'll be fun. In the meantime, let's maybe use this as a chance to bring up Keith, and maybe we can talk about July 1st, the schedule, the music. Do a little aerial. You want to grab one of those? Would you mind grabbing me one of those on the way over, please, sir? Thank you. As long as you're here, straight out of the green room.
Green room, which we will have one of those.
Yes, totally.
July 1st.
Yeah, we're gonna bring on our friend and yours. I want to give a big thank you to our original host, the Lang family in Essex, for a number of reasons. Essex is just not ready yet. But we are now steps closer having gone through this. So I love you guys, and we would love to work with you in the future, and we will. So thank you to our original hosts.
Thank you.
That's a good way
they're amazing.
Introduce our current July 1st host. He's just double fisting on my accounts. Ladies and gentlemen, the man himself, Mr. Keith Morris.
Howdy. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Keith, it is our pleasure. Keith is a farmer. He's an educator. He is somebody who's experienced the negative impacts of the war on drugs, the failed war on drugs, firsthand. And he is, most importantly, for our purposes tonight, the host of the July 1st Shindig. So, Keith, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much. Really, we're super excited. We are an entirely organic family farm based in the Lamoille River Valley of Johnson, Vermont. Where really first and foremost we're based in tree crops, experimentation, and a wide variety of medicinal herbs, and primarily focused on creating habitat and refuge and sanctuary for wildlife and pollinators and wild people too. So we can't wait to have all the wild Heady Vermonters come really embrace at least steps closer towards freedom and autonomy. And are really excited, in fact, in having an opportunity to help shape this conversation of how we use this opportunity to bend the arc of our economy towards the counterculture rather than vice versa. I'm pretty excited about
the counterculture is the culture, my friend. Yeah. That's what we're trying to cultivate here. This is beautiful.
So,
this is good. Like, I mean, we were just hanging out at Willow Crossing yesterday. Actually, Price has some stuff up on our Instagram story. This is historic because you're involved. It's historic because of the venue, and you've owned this property for 17 years.
Yes.
And it's also got history.
Yeah,
locally,
17 years ago, I started this farm on what was a bare hayfield, but even long before then, this is the site where the original reggae fests were in Johnson, Vermont in the mid-90s, and other deep festivals and celebrations going back actually potentially 10,000+ years, really, when we look at where we are and the ecosystem there as an ecosystem that's been co-created by people, which is really exciting. I mean, the nut trees, the native fruits, nuts, berries, vines, tubers, it's truly the original farmland for the original Vermonters. So we hope to honor that tradition and bring that tradition forward as we move into a new world, which has all sorts of people and players, and this one crop among many, which we're pretty excited about in particular, if only because we haven't been allowed to grow it previously.
Right.
So,
and we have, let's give people a sense, because we were out there and I got some video. And let's drop in, there's no sound on this, so we can talk over it and we'll see up on the screen. This is up from one of the perches, and this kind of gives you a sense of where the actual event's going to take place.
So you can see here the geodesic stage band shell, which is actually the actual pillow dome from the New Alchemy Institute, which, you know, John Todd and friends created, and Buckminster Fuller lounged in the hammock under the cherry trees and on top of the ponds. So
And that is, can we pause right there on that frame?
make sure
Oh,
you
we
get a
can-
bunch of my
Okay.
junk.
Let's run it back one more time so people can see. On the left side of the screen, you'll see a little outline of a dome, and then you'll see the field where most of us are going to be congregated. So that dome has the stage on it.
So in
Buckminster Fuller
2015,
designed.
yeah. So in 2015, a group of Johnson State college students essentially wanted to throw a party at the farm, and we
What? Johnson State? No
yeah,
way.
No,
we
yeah.
took that opportunity to work with a whole group of folks, mostly from the senior class of that year, who actually felled trees, and we hauled a sawmill, and we dragged logs out of the woods, and we literally like built the stage like directly from the forest. And then, running out of time with the intention of a timber frame roof, found coincidentally that this dome that we had salvaged was the exact diameter of the stage, and so hauled it over, and then had this, you know, semi-spherical band shell, and people's faces melted. It was really pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It was really pretty incredible for what, you know, most people thought they were coming to like a kegger in a field with like
Right.
maybe, you know, a pop-up tent and some pallets.
Expectations were
And
low.
all of a sudden there was like lights and real sound, and, you know, incredible local food vendors, and, you know, this bridging of the local community, the agricultural community, young revelers, and also of the wild ecology. It was, you know, it was really neat to have these incredible bands playing and great food and music happening, but just as many people chilling under plum flowers, watching bumblebees, or skinny dipping in the river at option.
Nudity is optional.
That's right.
And you know, there's an incredible amount of stuff to explore on the farm, and we'll do some tours of the farm
Yeah.
during the event on July 1st. And for anyone who really wants to get deep, we are offering folks the opportunity to spend the entire week leading up to the July 1st celebration on the farm, hands-on, working with cannabis plants and the best practice of organic production that we can muster yet. And I don't know if we want to segue to that, but
Yeah, well, let's
We can talk
give
more about
people. I want to
July 1st.
I want to show that aerial again,
Yeah.
because I'm going to get up there with the drone and give people a even better produced sort of
drone
flyover.
fly. Nice.
You know, but at least like from the perch.
Bird's eye view.
It's going to be. It is, and we have. I'll drop some pictures in here as well. We appreciate that. Shout out to Scott Sparks. He was at the original Reggae Fest. I've seen some of his pictures actually. Let's show that video. Let's show this video again. And again, you guys can see on the left, you'll see the dome with the stage. You'll see a big white tent. There will be about 30 of those tents all along the side that are going to have our different vendors.
Big props to all the vendors and sponsors
Absolutely.
and everybody
Yep.
supporting this event. It
Yes.
really makes it
Oh
easy.
my God.
Yeah, so, well, I'm gonna do so first of all, quick. You talked about like this sort of like magical music location. So I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Sam Johnson from
I was going to
Cave
say
Audio.
that. Yeah.
From
Let's.
Cave Audio, he's doing all of our sound and kind of band management. Sam Johnson from Cave Audio, who actually coincidentally went to Johnson College and whose last name is Johnson, who's doing our event in Johnson.
All right,
There's
yes.
Johnson and Johnson and Johnson. That is happening.
Big
and
Johnson
he's
guy.
helping to make a really seamless experience for everybody with the sound, the lights, helping to integrate some of the sustainable like goals that we have for maybe potentially running everything off solar, or at least getting a
Yeah.
reduced impact for everybody.
Yes, that is a good. I was gonna talk about the music after, and maybe that's a good transition because Sam has been killer helping us put together a special lineup. So we're gonna go through. Really, when people ask what this event is, it's a celebration. It's a party. We're gonna have live music, hang out at a beautiful, organic, sustainable farm. We're gonna have farm tours. We're gonna have demos and workshops. We're going to have people. You're gonna be able to go into the greenhouse and actually see.
Shout out to Northern Roots.
Shout out to Northern Roots Nursery. I'll show you
Also-
guys a video. We've got a video that we'll throw on here as well.
Yep. Northern Roots, who is also a Heady Vermont business partner.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
Yep, Ryan and
Getting that
Derek.
up soon.
Thank you.
Yep.
Respect.
Thank you very much.
They are, like I said, oh yeah, perfect. So you guys can see. Here's an on-the-ground view.
That's the dome.
That's the dome and the stage. There's going to be a whole bunch of vendors all around over there. And then you can actually see, I'm taking you on a little walk down the road here. You can see how beautiful and lush and green
There's
everything
our
is.
5,500 watt array, so we should offset the entirety of all of the music, sound, lights, and vendors many times over, frankly.
And this is kind of the headiest, you know, this is what we talk about the Heady Vermont. This is what's so cool because Keith is doing, he said, we're going to do this, we're going to make it renewable. It's going to be, we're going to do an event that doesn't degrade, it upgrades.
Here's our CBD nursery with primarily we're looking at Saba, which is a really interesting brand new hybrid, very high CBD to THC ratio, so legal to grow under our existing hemp law, but potent medicine for the cannabinoids. So you can get cuts and copies and potted starts of these at the event and via the Willow Crossing Farm page.
Yeah, and that is that. I mean, it was awesome to go there and just be able to walk around and see the farm in operation, and see all those lovely ladies hanging out in the greenhouse. We are going to have cultivation workshops. We have got this is a trip right here. So this is actually a walk to the beach.
Oh. That's right. There's a beach.
We went over there.
There's a canoe.
There is a beach.
I
as
did
part
not
of the
clean up for this video tour. I should
No. We'll go. I'll
Disclaimer.
do there will be a whole edited fancy version, but want to give people a real sense
a lot of you are out there, so shout out to the Permaculture Action Network and Permaculture Action Day and Rising Appalachia. Everybody was out there last Sunday. Thanks for helping inoculate hundreds of mushroom logs, and we installed a endangered plant sanctuary of medicinal plants directly next to the stage. So Jess Rubin of Myco Evolve will be on hand Sunday, July 1st to tour some of the herb gardens. We'll open the 7th Circuit Herbal Labyrinth. And
yes.
Here's the beach. So bring your towel.
Yeah, how?
Can people bring their own tubes?
Yeah, you can tube. In fact, you can put in here and float right to the end of the farm and get out and just still be on the farm for 3/4 of a mile float. And also just upriver you can put in, and there's some, we're referred to them as the falls, but they're really some rapids that are fully floatable.
And if you show up on pedal or paddle power, we're literally going to put cash in your hand. We're going to give you cash money for choosing a more sustainable mode of transportation.
So we're right at the intersection of the Long Trail and the Lamoille River and the Lamoille Valley Rail Trail. So really easy to boat, bike, swim, hike.
And we have camping right there. So next to that greenhouse, that big field is where we'll have camping.
Yeah.
There's Ryan production over there, so not there exactly, but over there as well. So.
And camping, so we've had a lot of questions about camping.
Yeah.
So we have camping on Sunday night, and I believe on Saturday night as well.
Yeah, if you're coming from far away, you're welcome Saturday. Saturday will mostly be folks from the Canna Culture course helping vendors set up, and really we'll just be raising tents and roofs, and it's the build day Saturday. So if you want to come and pitch in, you can pitch a tent and stay. But the event doesn't start until 11 a.m. Sunday.
Yep.
So most campers will be staying over Sunday night, and there's no rush to leave. In fact, there may be some yoga or sound healing services offered Monday morning, and
yes. Sound healing.
farm breakfast or swim.
We'll also
yourselves at home.
shuttle your asses back to Burlington or wherever you need to go.
Yes. Thank
Monday
you
morning.
to Humble Roots Horticulture. Big shout out. Our safety sponsors. Keeping everybody safe. They're throwing down on the shuttle. So we're going to have free shuttle. There's no reason for you to drive. We intend to have alcohol served on site. So camping, free shuttle, carpool.
If you do drive, please carpool take all of your best friends and
Camp on
bring
the
them all
long
with
trail
you.
and hike in somewhere.
So our next door neighbor
You know?
is going to charge $5 per car for parking, and
Mm-hmm.
it keeps him really happy and excited about the event. And he's really the person who the stage faces most directly. So we're excited that he's excited,
Yes.
and that this is a mutually beneficial.
Feel free to tip him a couple extra bucks, and not pee in view of his house too.
Yeah,
that would also
he's
be
okay
great.
if you pee between the cars, I would think.
Okay,
but,
okay.
But just so you know, it's all the more reason to pack them in, and we have much less of a footprint for the event that way too, just as far as compaction
Absolutely.
and space. So,
Well, and that's-
fill your car, and it's
yeah.
only $5 a car. That's $1 a head if you fill your seats.
Yeah, exactly. And again,
yep.
trying to make this as sustainable, as renewable. We're talking about solar generators. We're talking about composting toilets. We're talking about
Captain
using
Kirk.
this, having action at the farm at the day of, so that if you want to spend an hour, and contributing, we'll have activities so that you can actually help out and invest in this land that we're all going to share together. So, speaking of that, we will have, if you're somebody who wants to get involved, I just got a text from one of our volunteers from Hempfest, or from the convention. If you want to get involved, we are going to have some work dates set up in advance. So we're going to be going out there on set dates. We're going to barbecue, we're going to have beer or kombucha, if you're not into alcohol, or lesser alcohol, I guess. We'll have chocolate milk. And we're actually going to have some work days. So if you want to volunteer and get a free ticket, there will be opportunities for you to do that. So stay tuned. But before July 1st, let's talk a little bit about the perma-canaculture farm-based education. Because we got the link here. We're going to drop it on. You guys are going to see it on Heady Vermont and in the newsletter. But kind of give us an idea about what this camp is going to be, because it's a week long, it's all inclusive, it's hands-on. So what is this going to be, and why is this going to be the most valuable week-long course you've ever taken, and the most fun?
We're super excited by this, and maybe there's a better title. We're open to suggestions, but perma-canaculture is actually very accurate, and that's why we're running with that, which is essentially looking at how we apply the ideas and ethics of permaculture design to cannabis culture and cannabis production, which, to put briefly, permaculture is really looking at the combined wisdom of all people and all time. And so we'll dive deep into the ethnobotanical coevolution between human beings and the cannabis plant. And the reality of this conversation is, it's really exciting as it's shaping up with the people who we've seen so far signing up. We have folks who are professional growers in the sense of, conventional, sustainable, organic agriculture looking to move into CBD and eventually recreational or medical cannabis production. We have folks coming from professional cannabis production backgrounds looking to essentially diversify their plantings and pay more attention to whole systems and cyclical relations to nutrients, and looking at how cannabis can be a vehicle for farm health, farm economic health, for carbon sequestration, for habitat protection, for pollinator support, and really diversifying cannabis production, and hopefully having these conversations preemptively so we can have better conversations in the State House about what farm-supported cannabis production or cannabis supporting farms looks like, and what direct marketing, direct value adding, and really how we keep this with the Vermont brand's integrity,
right,
and really keep cannabis in an ecological culture and in an ecological context, or move cannabis towards a more ecological culture or more ecological context. So
I like that you're including the philosophy behind it too, because if you want to understand this and do this right, it's not just buy this fertilizer and don't buy this.
Yeah.
It's understanding, here's the mindset, right?
Yeah,
With
we're
building
gonna dive
healthy
deep
soil,
into soil mixing,
ecosystem level.
where it's exciting because the reality is, of course, we don't know all the answers, and by no means do we claim to, but we're gathering the best minds that we know. And Among some of the folks joining us on the teaching team are Justin Thompson, and he's willing to identify himself. He's a professional grower out in legal states, and we have some images of his like polycultural cannabis production. Truly some of the best outdoor production that I'm exposed to, that I've ever been exposed to, not only in the quality of his end product, maybe that's what counts the most, but also just in the literal buzz of his gardens with hummingbirds and native pollinators and honeybees and other fruit production and other flower production happening in amidst the cannabis, with only adding to the health and resilience of the cannabis centerpiece of the economics of this. And then we have Don Gardon, who is predominantly an indoor grower and breeder. We have some images maybe we'll put on the comments later, but he's a cover photo of the High Times repeatedly, and a true professional growing some of the highest quality stuff in the world. So you really are. I mean, we're talking. It's a full week long. Yeah.
Everything's included. So you're going to show up
3 meals
there.
a day, farm sourced meals, and we're looking at everything from best practice organic production to propagation to light depth systems to soil blends to raised beds, indoor, outdoor, the future, the legislation process, adding value, rosin pressing, candy making, edibles cooking. We'll also explore, of course, CBD, and in fact, a lot of our hands-on stuff will be with CBD in terms of like production scale components. But given how close we are to the July 1st date, we've already kind of got the go-ahead to be given entrance to a few basements and other pretty sweet operations where folks will share some secrets. And really that's what's most exciting about this is there's this whole group of people like the Vermont Cannabis Nurses Association and other folks from the medical field, just all joining to have a chorus of voices about how we really do this best, and we really do this with what's unique about Vermont and maintaining our integrity of a very high quality, non-chemically adulterated product that, how do we grow cannabis without synthetic fertilizers? How do we grow cannabis without pesticides? How do we grow cannabis without antifungal or anti-mold agents in the curing process? So from seed to harvest and beyond in terms of adding value and all of the potential enterprises that are yet to open as we race into a legal market, frankly, we look at how we do this best and how we have a voice in this conversation so that we can continue to shape policy on behalf of the environment and family farms.
And we are going to, and again, like this is not a mass event where everybody's going to come and pull up a trailer. This is a small,
we expect to have about 12 students in full-time immersion and several incredible guests. So everyone will be staying at the farm. We get 3 farm-sourced meals a day. Essentially, the course starts with dinner Sunday evening. We'll have a bonfire and a fire in the earth oven, do some baking. We will work hands-on with the farm. We'll tour some really interesting cannabis production operations and nurseries and added value operations. And course content really runs Monday to Friday with kind of a culmination. And then Saturday you have off, but you still have all 3 meals provided by the farm to either just chill out or help. Most people, we imagine, will be helping mentors and folks that they've met through the process of the course set up as vendors and exhibitors for the event on Sunday. Everyone who takes the course will have VIP green room backstage access to the event Sunday, July 1st. So you'll be on the ground essentially as an inhabitant host, knowing the farm's inner workings and kind of being an ambassador of sorts of what's going on the ground, as we have potentially 1,000 people or more join us on the Sunday event.
Yeah, potentially or more. We're it's gonna be wild. I really want to give a thank you to the Johnson Select Board and to the Lamoille County Sheriff's Department. I
Indeed.
literally was talking with them today. We're going to talk and we're going to meet about how we can make this event as safe as possible. Talking security, talking access and
Efficiency.
roads, keeping people safe. It's very cool that we can do a community event, and it's a event that's about cannabis, but we're going to be treated like normal human beings, trying to throw a music fest and make sure that the event's not too big, that everybody's safe, that everybody's secure. So
Traffic is cool. Like people, like
this only
pathways are
happens because your rep is so good over there in Johnson, and because you guys have this beautiful little community, a lot of whom are interested in cannabis, and we're pumped to work. So thank you for putting
No
us
problem.
on with all the local Lamoille County folks.
We're
you know?
really excited to host Heady Vermont. You folks are really stepping up as far as the organizational capacity of running events like this. And for those of you who've been to when we had the Rising Appalachia concert or the Hoedowns, just know that we'll have it even more together because of the level of organization that Heady Vermont is bringing. So super excited by that. And yeah, I mean, we're grateful for our community and being in support. I mean, the reality is every Tuesday night all summer long, Johnson has a huge Heady Throwdown, frankly, at Tuesday Night Live. So shout out to Tuesday Night Live because it's just kind of normalized this culture of festival, a family-friendly festival with live music that happens on our village green every Tuesday.
Which is literally just getting people together and like being together and hanging out.
Yeah, and I'd love to think that our law enforcement in Vermont and Lamoille County are among those folks who recognize that we're only all collectively getting safer as we can come out of the closet and have mature conversations about both the risks and the rewards of these medicinal herbs and intoxicating substances. So we're really excited to just welcome anyone who's interested to learn. Of course, no one needs to consume cannabis at this event. It's really not about consumption of cannabis as much as celebration of our rights to grow and possess.
Celebration of communities, celebration of agriculture, celebration of people coming together to make a political change. That's the July 1st. And we gotta figure out what kind of promo we're gonna do. It's Canada Day as well, July 1st. So we got to do something.
Discount Heady Vermont memberships for any Canadian citizens.
We'll sell you Heady Vermont memberships at cost at Canadian dollars at par.
Yeah, or tickets at par for those of you who want to come from
like
Canada.
JP used to do.
And we are less than an hour from the border. The Freylisburg crossing is probably the closest, and we have so many friends and allies in Canada, and we really can't wait to build better bridges.
Allons-y. And also, want to say for the Perma-Canna-Culture Camp, if you are considering it, if you're getting excited, we are going to be spending a bunch of time. I'm probably going to come and just try to camp out there all week as we get ready. Just leave to go
Eli
to the
will be
reception.
one of the facilitators. He's actually already slated for a conversation with our new state Agency of Agriculture director, who Eli and he will be having a conversation about the current status of hemp legislation, the current status of recreational cannabis production, and a forward-looking conversation in what this inevitable tax and regulate environment will look like in Vermont.
And I think what we are going to do before our outro. If you are watching this, you're interested in going to the Perma-Canna-Culture week-long festivities, or you know somebody is, the next 5 people who register and who reference the live stream, we're going to give you $50 off from Heady Vermont.
And anyone who registers at any time, whether you're in the next 5 or not, it includes Heady Vermont membership, and again, the VIP access to Sunday, July 1st.
That's
so
true.
You'll have a year-long membership just with your course registration.
Yeah, we're
so
already
you don't have to worry about your ticket.
We're already in with the.
And maybe that's
and
what if you already have a Heady Vermont membership, I think we are willing to arrange a discount for that. But first
but
5 people.
And some special because if you're watching the live stream, you're deep in
here.
this. It's like friends and family and people like we see all the time and who we love, and the exact people who want to go to this, who should go to this, and who need to get their friends to go to it too. So if you are watching this and you sign up, one of the next 5 people, you sign up, reference live stream, sign up, and then send an email saying live stream. I saw this on the live stream, and we will throw down and help sponsor part of your ticket so that you can go and do this the right way.
Awesome. And it's really interesting. I mean, we will do more diverse offerings in the future because it's clear already that there's a desire for day-long and weekend workshops within the similar vein, or breaking out like cultivation, propagation, adding value, etc. So more offerings are coming. Stay tuned to the Willow Crossing Farm or Prospect Rock Permaculture Facebook page.
Let me get a quick, before we exit here, what do you think what are some good outdoor strains in Vermont?
Yeah,
if we're talking as somebody who's going to be somebody who's teaching the
Post July 1st.
Yeah, post July 1st, like theoretically.
Because nobody's doing anything.
Yeah, nobody's ever grown it outdoors in Vermont, but when they do,
no one has ever grown marijuana outdoors in Vermont.
What kind of strains do you think are?
Well, you know, the truth
just
is,
generally,
get your seeds started now if you can, and come to the event with things for the gene swap. I think we'll probably have some opportunities in place for people to leave with genetics, whether or not you have something to exchange. So those are some details kind of yet to be worked out, but there will be some great established plants available somehow, not for sale. And
nothing's for sale.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't exchange money or sexual favors for cannabis plants or plant materials.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they haven't really addressed that in the last.
I don't have an easy answer to that question, but it's pretty exciting. You know, there's some advantage to the fact that Maine and Massachusetts have a little bit of a head start on us in that we can pay attention to what those breeders are working with. I don't know if people have heard about the. What even is it called? It's called like lobsters and maple and lobsters. I'm sorry that I don't know.
What is this? Is this like a?
It's a Maine strain designed specifically for very short ripening. Moose and lobster.
Moose and lobster.
Kevin knows about it.
Okay.
Moose and lobster.
Wow. That's very specific.
Mother of berries. So see, it's a collaborative effort, right? No one of us holds all the answers. We really need to put our brains together so that we can, get better. But there are some strains, that have come from Vermont, and I think, what's most exciting is all of these elders and folks that have really been hiding in the hills, growing marijuana for 35, 40 years, or 50 or 60 years. And
shout out to Oki.
And we do have our own landrace strains, and of course these frontiers of just understanding how these hybrids have played into present being and what different concentrations of different compounds they have. I mean, that's, I think, one of the most exciting things we have to look forward to after July 1st is that much more open honesty, transparency, safety, integrity of product, and really kind of knowing from seed to source what genetics we're working with, so we can all get better acquainted with what's working for our personal preferences, or for those of us who are using it for medical reasons, what exactly is working best on the specific needs. So
and
it's exciting.
I like the idea of like the multi-generational and all the cultures kind of coming together,
right.
Right? And because we're going to have flower, genetics, talking about things that have been grown in Vermont for 40 years and people bringing flower, we're going to have also rosin pressing happening and dab bars set up.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to be like,
careful.
we're going to have old heads, with
Indeed.
like white beards talking with young kids with flat brims and pins about like what are concentrates and what are old school flower, and like I've seen it. I can see it happening already. So
it's already happened at our events, and
Yeah.
it's going to happen again. I think in an even greater scale than ever before. It's nice to see people kind of coming out of the woodwork. For example, at the Cannabis convention, I talked to people who ran into their next door neighbors at the convention, and they're like, and now they're like, oh, you're cool. Oh, nice. Okay. And now they're like,
or their doctor, or their dentist,
or and it's just that sort of like, it's that bridging. It's beautiful, and that's one of the things you kind of love for, is just to see people create that community amongst each other. It's really good.
My laptop died, so we have any questions,
Any
popping
questions?
up here on the live
For
stream?
the outro, does anybody have any burning questions?
What do you got? What do you got, Kevin? You got anything over there? pop it up?
Not too much. Just one more shout out. If anyone has any questions, please post them now. That way we can get them. We have a person from California. Sounds like they're watching right now. So
Nice.
shout out to you. Thank you for watching.
Nice.
And supporting us. Keep
Cal-
using the good name.
California.
Yeah,
All right.
It's pretty
There you
exciting
go.
to hear. Actually, I know people coming in from all
I
over the
know.
country
People
just to
flying.
join us in celebration
Yeah.
of July 1st.
People
So-
are like, oh my god, I'm coming from.
He's bringing possibly some genetics for us from the West Coast, so that would be incredible. Thank you, Dan.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Dan. Shout out to Dan. Man, this I know we're preparing to scale this up. I'll tell you, no matter what, there's only ever you always remember your first time, and there's only ever one first time, and this is however small of a state Vermont is. This is a big fucking deal, like nationally, and this is gonna go down.
The first legalization that's happened through a legislative process. And,
Yeah.
And, you know, as frustrating as it is that we haven't gone further, I think we can all kind of take a breath and recognize that that's because we're going to do it really better, and we're going to continue to learn from what's happening in all of these legal states. And I can't wait to see what comes around next July 1st, because I don't doubt that our present legislation is going to rush a tax and regulate bill to passage. And so I hope that we can all bring our voices there, which is another reason to join Heady Vermont as a member, as opposed to simply buying a ticket the day of the event, because that's what really gives them power in the State House as
That's how we
representative
hire a
of
reporter
our
to tell you
voice.
what's going on full time. Like, yes, we're going to be there advocating, we're going to be there lobbying. I'll be writing columns and, being on interviews, and we'll be busting people's ass and sending them questionnaires. But we want to hire people in Vermont to come and do journalism and tell you what's going on. So that is part of what your membership, what your business partnership, what that all goes towards. And thank you, I appreciate it. That's a huge plug.
No,
And
it's really great.
We all got into this thinking that if we never make any money, we're at least going to believe in what we do. The whole time,
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
that we'll never lose. So,
Or we're going to be arrested over 35 times.
right, exactly. Well, eventually, it might take 20 years. It might take a few years. We'll see how cool the sheriffs
with
really
a clean
are.
conscience.
Yeah. We'll see if I walk out of that
And
appointment
I love
next
your
week.
point. I love your point about recognizing that we've made some progress, and I know people are a little bit frustrated that we haven't gone further yet. But to your point, we are doing it right, and we're doing it our way. And a small recognition of what we've accomplished and how we've all come together, I think is really important before we kind of dive into the next political season and the next round of tax and regulate talk. And
And if tax and regulate sucks, we're really especially going to want to make sure we have fun now. So definitely,
Have some fun.
definitely get out there and send it. Last prompt for the legalization celebration. We haven't even talked about the music. This is a music festival. Let's talk a little bit about why we're going to go out there and throw down, because I've personally got a special surprise with our friends from Honey Twist. We're going to open it up. We're going to have some DJs. Which DJs? We'll see which ones answer my text first. We got a lot of feelers out, but we're going to have Honey Twist. We're going to have Conscious Roots. Conscious Roots. You guys have met them around. Homegrown Vermont, Lamoille County.
Yeah.
Farm
Roots
friends.
reggae, and they rehearsed at Willow Crossing, so they are already warmed up.
That's right, the Willow Crossing House Band. Pretty
Yep.
much. And then we've got Tender Bellies, another awesome Vermont band, bringing a little homegrown bluegrass to the scene. Shout out, what's up to Colin? Booked them a ton of times. Those guys are great. Barika. I mean, come on, we're talking, how are we going to do this July 1st?
Shout out to all that crew. And it's so exciting because actually both Barika and Tender Bellies are two of the only bands that have played all three music festivals that have yet happened at Willow Crossing. They're joining us for the 4th, and they are, from that, they've been on that stage more than I have. And
I was Googling.
right
I was
at home
looking
there.
stuff up from Willow Crossing Farm, and I saw those two together on a music thing.
Yeah, they both.
And I was like,
in
I thought it was
fact,
an
if you look
echo chamber.
closely, I mean, because it was so cool with the geodesic dome and stuff, they both have all these tons of pictures of their performances
From
from
inside
previous-
the...
Yep.
Yeah, so it's an awesome, and there are a bunch of other bands in the future, when we do this and make it a 2-day, 3-day, once it gets
July
to Reggae
1st,
Fest,
2019, can we announce it?
in 2019, yeah,
it's going to be at Willow Crossing also, so you can buy those tickets now at extra double discount.
Yeah, I mean, I can't confirm that Fish is going to be there next year on 2019. You're gonna have to buy a ticket this year to find out.
It's true. We'll have a lottery.
But we are going to have but we are also doing a homegrown little all-star band, which, again, shout out to our buddy Sam.
It's not a little all-star.
Yeah, it's not a little
giant,
all-star band.
super awesome,
a giant,
homegrown,
super awesome
all-star
all-star tribute.
Yeah, the homegrown all-stars.
Yep. And we have a lot of amazing musician friends that we love so much for bringing incredible, compositions together in different groups of them. So one of the things we were really excited about was taking all of our favorite musicians and putting them in sort of a homegrown all-star lineup. And Sam from Cave Audio is really helping sort of do that. And, shout out to him. He's also doing Friendly Gathering that same weekend, which is Friday, Saturday. And then he's going to mosey on over and kind of help us out with the
Shout
Sunday.
out to all the friendly folks. So there's
Shout
not much
Friendly.
on the docket for Sunday, so
come on over. When you're done partying at Friendly.
Little rest and recovery.
What better way to ride out your friendly hangover than by coming over and enjoying the beautiful scenery and floating in the tube, listening to Conscious Roots? It's really funny.
Shit, man, that's right. Send it right up Route 100, too. It's not even an hour away.
Oh, don't go too far down the river. I don't know
good.
if we're going to have a pickup. I'm going to use the shuttle for that.
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. We'll get you.
Okay, if we lose you, maybe we'll have a lost hippie pickup down the river or something.
Or tethered.
Yeah, the hippie river. All right, Kevin, anything else? Any questions on there we should address, burning ones yet? Man, we got a lot more information we're going to put out.
So
the best way to stay tuned is to get the Heady Vermont members only emails. You get that by being a member. So sign up for a membership, get the members only email, you're in the members only Facebook. You got Kevin,
get your code,
who now has got to give you concierge service if you become a member.
Kevin at HeadyVermont.com.
Kevin at HeadyVermont.com. He's got all your questions. We'll get you taken care of.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thank you guys. Big thank you to our sponsors, the Permacaniculture week-long farm-based educational series, the first of its kind.
It's such an exciting partnership. We can't wait to help everybody raise the bar and bring the potential for this medicine to our bodies as medicine to the land, and really look at how cannabis is an opportunity to keep farm economics healthy, to keep farm water quality healthy, to keep our atmosphere healthy. It's so exciting to see such a big opportunity kind of yet mostly in front of us.
And for us to be able to work together and do an event, which again is not only going to be historic and groundbreaking, but something that we hope will build not only the community, the Vermont culture, but also the physical land itself. So we'll show the video on the outro as we cut our mics, so you guys can check it. Maybe we'll play the video with the Heady Vermont theme song to take us out for the night. And thank you again to our hosts at Jam Creative, as always, for hosting us here in this beautiful studio. And the man who makes it all look so good, does the masterwork on the cameras, Sean Simonetti Media. He is still a student here in Vermont, which means he's available all summer. As much work as we want to give him, I bet that you can hire him as well. So thank you to Sean for the great work back here. Our live studio audience, give it up for our live studio audience!
Shout out to Kevin. Thank you so much.
That's right.
Peace.
We will see you guys next week, and in the meantime, elevate the state.